So we're back.
We're back.
So we got some pretty big free agency moves in the NFL going around. So I think that's kind of a big talking point. We got a lot of hot takes going around with quarterbacks in this draft and just the draft in general.
A lot of safeties getting released. A lot of safeties
hitting. A lot of safeties. The Bills are definitely making some splash moves with
what they're doing. Von Miller's contract.
Oh, all because of Von Miller's contract. We also have a special guest analyst, Jake. You know that?
Yes, we do. We have
a special guest analyst who knows a thing or two about Cleveland Browns football, which makes this a very highly touted guest. Would you say so?
Yeah, because who can't get enough of the Browns? We love the Browns. We love them. We wish them the best. God, can they just get to a Super Bowl? That'd be the best Super Bowl ever.
So without further ado, our special guest, Thick Daddy, Connor Leduc. There he is.
What an introduction there. When he says he knows a thing or two about Browns football, he means a thing or two about Browns football. I'm just here to have some fun and give my input. But let's go Browns. Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year. TJ Watt got robbed.
About to say.
Definitely.
That is
as a Browns fan, I can wholeheartedly say that.
Yeah, I mean, he only got like 0 sacks the last 7 games.
It is what it is.
Those quarterback pressures, man.
We'll take the Mickey Mouse Defensive Player of the Year trophy.
So, Leduc, how would you evaluate the Browns season? Because I think it was pretty successful. I mean, they made the playoffs with Joe Flacco. So
I would say we had a great season. I mean, I was bad luck watching the games. The 2 games I ended up watching this year, Nick Chubb's knee got blown out. And then we got blown out by the Texans in the playoffs. So I guess I was really the downfall of the Browns season. I would say I'm proud of our boys, going out there and fight through all those injuries. But holy crap, that Texans game was ugly. Brevin Jordan, though, the greatest tight end of all time.
Oh, for sure. So would you actually blame yourself? Like for the millions of Cleveland Browns fans out there, and I say millions because they do have quite the diehard fan base. Would you say you were a sole reason for one of their losses in the playoffs? Like, I mean,
I'm going to be honest. I really might have been. I think it was bad juju. Like, I think it was coincidental bad luck. Like, I didn't watch the first game against the Texans in the regular season. We did just fine. In the playoffs, I watch them. We get absolutely smoked.
You guys were a dangerous team. Great defense. You had a hot young quarterback in Joe Flacco who's just lighting the league on fire.
The hottest and youngest quarterback in the league. We need to bring him back. Joe Cool needs another year.
My question to you. Your quarterback next year, would you rather have Joe Cool, the young lion, or Deshaun Watson?
Joe Cool. Yeah, Joe Cool.
Joe Cool?
I think Deshaun Watson, that's one of the worst trades in NFL history. Baker Mayfield should still be on the team to this day.
So when we talk about worst trades in NFL history, would you put it at worse than the Russell Wilson trade, who just recently was released by?
It's up there. It's very close. It's up there. I would probably put it worse. Gonna be honest.
Is it worse than Cleveland making the trade, or is it just worse?
We gave up 4 first-round picks for someone that cannot. Okay, 3 first-round picks for someone that has not been able to play since he got back.
And his money is all guaranteed.
Like I said, this was not a good move.
Was he not what was he? Wasn't he 5-1 as a starter last year? I mean, I know he didn't play great, but
I think a lot of it.
I don't think he helped at all in any of those wins.
I mean, I think the quarterback who's 5-1 as a starter, I mean, that's not terrible.
Many of those games were at home, though, because their defense was the best defense at home, but on the road they were.
I mean,
do you think Deshaun Watson should be the Cleveland Browns starting quarterback next year?
Well, he will be. I don't know.
He will be because it would make the trade even worse. But do you think he should be?
Well, they brought in Dorsey.
Quarterback anywhere. the way he.
Dorsey will figure him out. Look what he did to Josh Allen.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying. Dorsey said he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So I mean, I take what Dorsey said. He coached Josh Allen.
We all saw what we saw last year, and it was bad.
It wasn't good. And he couldn't stay healthy on top of that. Like, he can't stay healthy.
He's got to stay out of those massage parlays,
Now that he can't get his massages, he's getting injured. That's the problem. They correlate,
Yeah, I mean, it does go hand in hand. Massages to injury ratio is not great for Deshaun Watson.
Not good.
Not ideal. But I mean, you got some good young players,
I'm going to be honest, I like pretty much any of our other quarterbacks better than I like Deshaun Watson. I like Phillip Walker better. Our good old boy, PJ Walker, I think he's better. I think Joe Flacco's better.
You like DTR better than Joe Flacco.
Of course, I like DTR better than fucking Deshaun Watson.
Would you take Baker back in an instant?
I would take Baker Mayfield back in an instant and give you players.
So my question is, would you give Baker Mayfield, let's say some dumb team gives up a third round pick for Deshaun Watson just to eat his contract.
Mm-hmm.
And you offer that same contract to Baker Mayfield, would you do it?
Mm-hmm.
You would give Baker that same contract that Deshaun Watson's getting.
I would, if we're just switching quarterbacks, I'd rather have Baker Mayfield over Deshaun Watson right now, 100%. Baker Mayfield just brought the Buccaneers to the playoffs. He had a great season. Probably should have won Comeback Player of the Year, if we're being honest. Like, I think
Joe Flacco, Joe Cool.
I don't think Joe Cool played enough.
I think Joe Cool had it, man.
In the games he played, he was special, but I don't think he played enough to be honest.
I think you give it to the young lion.
I think out of the 3 awards that the Browns won, we probably should have realistically won one of them. It was Coach of the Year.
Yes, I agree. I think TJ Watt should have won it. I think Baker's definitely should. I think Flacco threw almost as many picks as probably Baker.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't think Baker should have won it. I think DeMar Hamlin should have won it. But
that big punt really.
Since he came back from playoffs doesn't count, so it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
So
he had like 2 tackles all year. Congratulations.
But
What happened?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna save you guys the argument. Let's look at DeMar Hamlin's stats.
Let's save us the argument, please.
See,
I'm ready for this argument.
Amazing statistics that this guy
should have won Comeback Player of the Year. This is my argument, by the way. Before he gets into these stats, this is the guy I'm saying should have won Comeback Player of the Year over Joe Flacco and Baker Mayfield. Just so we're clear.
So he had 0 forced fumbles, 0 fumbles, 0 forced fumbles, 0 fumble recoveries, 0 touchdowns, 0 sacks, 2 tackles. They were both solo tackles. So he had 0 assisted, 0 tackles for loss, 0 quarterback hits.
Don't forget the 12th man on the field when they lost to the Broncos.
And how many penalties? 1.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great – obviously happened at that night in Cincinnati, terrible and all. But, I mean, if we're talking about an award that's a comeback player, it's supposed to mean player coming back playing. That's the thing. It's playing.
So I think it went to Joe Cool. So
I did.
I would say DeMar Hamlin should be grateful he's even playing on the field. He didn't get much playing time before, and everyone said that there was a good chance he was never going to play football again. So I think he should take it and run with it and try not to have it happen again. He's not a starting caliber safety. He might as well take his backup career and not try and die on the field again.
I wouldn't say he was not like a play. Like he had 91 tackles in 2022. Like that's a lot of tackles for a safety. 91 in 15 games. That means he's playing like a lot.
I think it's something where he has to get back in the rhythm of things, and I think he should take it slow coming back. I think taking a year to take it kind of easy is the right move when your heart stops in the middle of a game after taking a hit to the chest, which was like a 1 in a billion chances of that happening. I think I saw. I'm not a doctor. I couldn't tell you.
It's a rare chance. It's like when you're like I watched a video on it. It's when you're like heart beats at a certain time collision.
It's a weird. It's like a.
It's a weird thing, dude.
I'm gonna be honest, DeMar Hamlin. If you're watching this, I'm sorry. I'm gonna put some respect on your name. I didn't know you were like that. I didn't know you were 91 tackles like that. Like Jabril Peppers only had 74 tackles this year. If we're being real, so
there it is.
Lights out.
I take that back, DeMar. I take that
So-
back.
So back to the Browns. We're gonna say it right now. The Browns dominated the NFL awards ceremony. Like they were like the MVPs of the award ceremony. Coach of the year,
Shockingly,
comeback
I was
player of the year,
shocked.
defensive player of the year. Which aspect do you think they deserve the most? Do you think it's coach? You think Stefanski did coached up that team pretty well?
Yeah, I think where they ended with how many injuries they had, I think that was one of the easiest awards to give out. I think there was a
Yeah.
couple other coaches you could argue with, but I
Nico?
think Kevin Stefanski was up there just because of the injuries alone.
Nico Ryan.
Yes, D'Amico Ryans was definitely up there too. Dan Campbell, I would put up there too.
Dan the man.
Dan the man, baby.
Couldn't sit there and go, yeah, I think it was a snub at that spot because with the injuries they had, like you look, D'Amico Ryans was taking a team that had 4 wins. The 4 wins they had before and got into the playoffs.
Great. I mean, I thought he was gonna win it honestly, but
I think when you look at list, who's Nick Chubb, your quarterback. How many different quarterbacks they have start for him? But, I mean, really, you look at him top down.
that was a little prayer for Nick Chubb.
I mean, understand.
Nick Chubb, man, he's got to be the favorite for comeback player of the year next year. Oh wait, never mind. It's Aaron Rodgers. I forgot he hurt.
You forgot about the 3 plays. Understandable.
It was 4. Get it right. It was 4.
My bad. 4 impactful plays. I'll put it at that.
Honestly, Nick Chubb might not be a bad like betting odds for DraftKings for comeback player of the year next year. They might repeat on that award.
Yeah.
They might. I mean, if you think about
Some
it,
people think they're not even going to re-sign him. I think they're crazy.
Well, you'll be on the team next year for sure. That's not even debatable. I mean, I don't think they can get rid of him right now unless you trade him. But I don't think any team's trading him.
I think he's a free agent, is he?
No,
Not yet.
not yet. Got a couple years. I don't know. Do you think the Browns go after a receiver because the pair up with Amari Cooper? I mean,
you have Don, but I mean, I don't think you really.
Wait, who do they have? You cut out.
Donovan Peoples-Jones.
No, he's not on the Browns
He's
anymore.
on the Lions.
He's on the Lions.
Yeah.
And that's right. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, he's on the Lions. He was returning punts, so he didn't do anything on like the receiving aspect of it.
I would say, if you're asking me, I think there's a lot more aspects we need on the team than wide receiver. I think keep Amari Cooper, stick with your core that you got, and go out and get pieces that you actually need, like D-line, like interior D-line. All our returning guys are no longer under contract. So we pretty much are going to need to either draft someone, get someone there. Like, what's the point in getting a good receiver if Deshaun Watson isn't going to be able to throw them the ball?
Well, that's what I was going to get at. Maybe like Deshaun Watson wasn't getting them the ball because your receiving core consisted of Elijah Moore and.
I don't think last year you had an issue with your offense. If you could somewhat at least get close to replicating what you did on defense last year, your offense is where you lost the game. Half your games, pretty much. And it's at the quarterback position. And when you only have one guy really to throw to, I mean, you can throw Njoku in there, but tight ends are.
That's it. You got Cooper and Njoku, basically.
Well, no, you got Emore, you got Elijah, you got 8.
Yeah, he's not.
He came on towards the end. He did. He started playing a little bit better at the end.
I know you like him.
Yeah, I just don't think he's that guy.
I don't think he's a great receiver. No, I just think like towards the end of the season he started to pop up on the stat sheet a little bit more. Like the beginning of the season he was terrible.
They're doubling Amari Cooper every goddamn play because.
Njoku. I mean, I think adding another receiver. I think maybe like Kendrick Bourne would be good for.
Like it can't hurt, but like I'm not prioritizing that.
Juwan Jennings. Fit for the
Juwan Jennings. I think Bourne would be a decent fit too.
I think a reliable number 2.
Yeah, it would help for sure.
I mean, I want to see the Browns in the playoffs again. Like, I want to see like Deshaun Watson take that team.
I think we'll be back in the playoffs. We should.
I want to see them win the division. Like, I want to see.
Is Deshaun Watson going to be leading that team while we're in the playoffs? I am not sure about that. I'm pretty sure we're going to be in the playoffs. And I doubt we're going to win the division. I think the Ravens probably got it again. Or the Bengals are going to come back and get it.
How do you think it takes up next year? Because you obviously are now, I mean, there's always the questions about Joe Burrow's health. And obviously Lamar could get hurt too. He's been banged up in multiple years here. Not quite as much as Joe. But you still got to compete at the moment. Those are the top two. Pittsburgh's still there. Pittsburgh's a tough team every goddamn year. You know they're going 9-8 every year.
Yeah, at least.
So,
and it looks like they're going to pick up a veteran quarterback. That's what, at least it's looking like. So another good quarterback to contend with, probably.
Well, it depends on it, because if it's Russell Wilson, I mean, I really gonna be scared of Russell Wilson after the year he had last year.
He had a good season. I don't think they should have benched him.
Good season.
Well, the reason they benched him was they wanted.
He had a horrible season his first season, but he did all right last season. Not great.
He wasn't bad. Like he wasn't like unrosterable.
Having him as my fantasy quarterback number 2, I had no complaints.
I mean,
games. If you watch the games, it was like
15 games started, 26 touchdowns, 8 picks, 3,000 yards.
That's not bad. That's not bad. I'm saying he had a decent season. It was unjust.
If you watch, it was not pretty. The games, if you watch them, it just did not look good.
Better than Jarrett Stidham?
Yeah, that's not saying a whole lot at all.
That's what I'm saying. But you bench him at the end of the season specifically for Jarrett Stidham. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't want to have him back this season, fine. But like, he said he was going to play out the games, and they specifically said, "Nah, you're cool, dude. We don't want you."
Well, the reason why they didn't play him was because he had an injury clause where if they would have to pay him money if he got hurt, they'd have to pay him more money.
I did see that, but come on, like.
So I'm gonna lay that accusation. Like, where does Russ end up? Does he end up in Pittsburgh? So if you put those numbers on the Steelers last year, are the Steelers more dangerous than what they would have been? Because I think so.
Yeah.
They probably
had bad quarterback play.
They probably would have won.
Kenny Pickett was not good at the beginning of the season, and then Mason Rudolph kind of came into his own at the end, but just not enough.
I also think their offensive coordinator situation for the first half was terrible with Matt Canada.
What do you mean? Wasn't he like really good and stuff?
Matt Canada? Oh, far.
Well, you think it's way better now? You see who they replaced him with?
I think as an offensive coordinator, he's better.
He's better than a head coach. I agree with that for sure. But just for the memes, going from Matt Canada to Arthur Smith can't get any better.
So
that is the perfect story right there.
If Russell Wilson was the quarterback of the Steelers last year, do you think they beat the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs? No. I think
probably not. The Bills were strong.
I think Mason Rudolph played a good game that game. I don't think Russ would have played any better.
So, do you think they should re-sign Mason Rudolph? Because isn't he a free agent?
I think they should.
I think the Browns should sign him.
I don't know. This is the issue you get with quarterbacks. There's never really going to be a quarterback. Right now, Baker is probably one of the better quarterbacks you'll see hit the free agent market in a long time.
Russell Wilson too, to be honest. I mean, come on, like one of those contending teams is going to be excited to get him.
The Giants, they're already talking to the Giants. Like he had an exceptional.
He met with Mike Tomlin today. I saw
exceptional meeting. He's going to either be a Giants starting quarterback or Steelers. And I think it's more likely you'll end up being the Steelers starting quarterback because hear me out for a second. I think the Giants are drafting the quarterback at 6. So
very possible.
Like who? JJ McCarthy.
Very possible. Drake
May could fall.
I don't think he falls that far.
I don't know. Like so, my proposition. I was going to get into this a little bit. If let's say what the mock draft is saying is true, Caleb Williams is going to go number 1. I guess that's like a knock on the park. Like, I might not think he's the best quarterback in the draft, but he's the slam dunk guy.
He's going 1. I don't.
He's going 1. He's going to the Bears.
Agreed.
Jaden Daniels goes 2 to the Commanders, like everyone's saying. Then that means like from like 3 to 6, the only team that could draft a quarterback is the Patriots. And the Patriots aren't sold on Drake May, which is what the rumors are now speculating.
It could all be a whole.
It could be a smokescreen. Maybe that's their guy over Jaden Daniels. Like
I think the Patriots have a lot of options though. Like I don't think it's time to panic. Like even worst case scenario, they could pick up Russell Wilson.
I would say probably not. I just don't think.
Could you imagine by next Thursday, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots? How crazy would that be? Just think in hindsight. Think about what Russell Wilson represents in his most notorious play.
Think about like 3 years ago, if you thought he was going to be the Patriots starting quarterback, like that's nuts.
Oh, that's nuts. And then, like, especially even if like you consider what like happened in that Super Bowl that he played against the Patriots, like his most notorious play is a interception against the Patriots. Like it's not even debatable.
Yeah, I know a Seahawks fan that remembers that play really well. So
me too. I know a couple. It's hysterical for me.
I know a couple of Seahawks fans, quite a few. I pissed on one of their jerseys when I was in middle school.
That's rude. That's not nice.
I didn't mean to.
You didn't mean to piss on his jersey.
I didn't mean to piss on his jersey. It's a long story, but his jersey had my urine on it.
Let's see, Cast. We got time.
That's another story. We'll bring that up on
another story for another day.
That's another story. But it was actually a Russell Wilson jersey too.
The Russell Wilson jersey. He was marking his territory. He was hoping Wilson was going to get traded to the Jets. Instead, he got Rodgers for 4 plays.
So, quarterback rankings. Jake did his research as a former quarterback that played at a above average high school level.
But I have my opinion.
He has his opinions on this year's quarterback class, and he's going to give you the rankings. It might shock a lot of people.
So my quarterback 1 is Jaden Daniels. He and Drake May are my 1 and 2. It's very close. I like Jaden Daniels best.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but that doesn't sound like Caleb Williams.
Because it's not.
Okay.
I think he plays a lot out of structure, and I think at the next level that doesn't work a lot.
Okay, so we'll get into the Caleb Williams comparison. Like we got to focus on Jaden. What makes Jaden Daniels stand out? Like why is he QB1 for you?
I think when it comes down to it, he makes the best tight window throws against, and that's what matters the most. If you can't throw when NFL defenses are running man coverage, you're just not going to have success. And I think he throws the best against man coverage and tight windows. I know people are going to be like, well, he's throwing to Malik Neighbors. He's throwing to Brian Thomas. He's obviously throwing to 2 probably first-round receivers. I would be surprised if both of them weren't first-round. Probably the first 16 picks, both those guys will go. But it's not like they got 5 yards of separation every time. Sometimes it's not even half a yard. The defender's all over them, and the ball's just dropped right in the bread bucket, you know? And I think when I was watching, there wasn't a whole lot of flaws where I sat there and went, okay, yeah, I'm concerned about that. You know, a guy like I said, Caleb Williams, a lot of out of structure. Jaden Daniels, I don't see a lot of these throws where he breaks the pocket and he looks to throw the ball all the way across the field or way down the field in tight coverage, just like throwing up a prayer. Like, you know, I think it's going to work. I'm not sure. He usually just takes off. And I think my only issue with him, outside of I'm a little worried about the weight. I think you're gonna take hits.
I think he has a slender frame, and he's definitely a runner, and he doesn't tend to slide a lot.
But that's the point. Not slide, and that will get you hurt. And the slenderness, I'm not as much concerned about because we have quarterbacks like Lamar who are extremely slender, who takes hits, and he's for the most part fine. It's just sometimes he'll get twisted up on, which is it's hard for a player to if you get twisted up on, that's because Because if someone falls on your ankle or steps on your ankle, that has nothing to do with how big you are. That has nothing to do with it. You can't prevent an injury when a guy all his weight falls on your ankle. It just bends the other way. So I think for me, I mean, it's pretty much sliding. You want to see him do it at the next level, maybe not without two really good receivers. But then again, I do believe he will be able to. I see the throws. I don't see as many red flags, as many risky throws that I see from Drake May or Caleb Williams.
Okay, so who's your QB2? It's May, right?
It's Drake, and I think he's more being Williams are similar in the sense that they get away with a lot because of their talent. I think Jaden Daniels isn't the most talented guy, but I don't see him making these,
egregiously bad plays.
Where you see like Drake May, he'll just off his back foot, just send it across his body down the field, ends up being a perfect throw, tight coverage, but he drops it in.
Yeah, but Justin Herbert does that stuff all the time.
And how Justin Herbert, he has all these flashy plays. How many terrible interceptions has he thrown in?
Well, we can go over his numbers. I don't think he's thrown that many.
Excuse me for a second, guys.
But it doesn't always equate to winning, and that's what we care about. And I'm a quarterback. I love Justin Herbert, but sometimes those mistakes you could look down. But obviously, like I said, the upside of Drake May is there, and I like him. I my comparison to him would be a Justin Herbert, Jordan Love kind of player.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the upside outweighs the potential flaws he has. Because sometimes you gotta be a little bit. And I think Drake he could get away with that. I think he just has to tone it down with the balls, or so to say, the bad decision making. But I also think the difference between him and Caleb Williams, I think Caleb Williams, character-wise, I just like not. A lot of people would agree. He does not rub off. He does not.
Yeah, no, I think Caleb Williams definitely has some character concerns based on like interviews.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've seen a few of his interviews and stuff. I haven't seen much of his game, but I've seen how he presents himself, and it's like
it's like when he's like, I know I'm gonna be the number one pick. Like I don't really focus on plan B. Like I like the confidence. I get what he's trying to go there. Like he was accomplishing the confidence aspect, but like the way you say that is like, no matter what team I get drafted to, I'm gonna prove the other people wrong. If I don't go number one, you'll regret it. Like that's the way you say it. But like not like I know I'm gonna go number one. Like that's kind of off-putting. And then like I think it's mostly due to his dad. It's like a package deal with him. Like I heard he doesn't have an agent, which is kind of concerning. His dad wanted to forego the rookie contract, which is weird. Like he wanted like a big, he wanted to be paid like a top quarterback right out of college, which is absurd. Like that's ridiculous, dude.
I don't think that goes over well in the locker room.
No.
But I don't think how that could go over well in the locker room when you have a guy coming in like that who thinks he's that hot as shit. Like, I just don't. I think that rubs players the wrong way, and I think coaches don't like that as much.
Nope, I don't think coaches like that. I think he's going to the Bears. Like it's a done deal, pretty much. So, Caleb Williams, is he your QB 3 or 4? Is your?
I think I have him at 3
over JJ.
Because if you just field, like I said, a lot of stuff is out of structure, but you can't ignore the talent that he has. And I think if he just takes more of what's given instead of just trying to make all these crazy plays out of structure, I think he would look way better than
No, like Caleb Williams is a weird prospect. I would say he's like one of the absolute
in this stuff, but it's if you have a guy wide open right when you hit that back step in your first pitch, just get the ball to him. There's no need to hold on to that ball when everybody's running the depth of the route. You're running hitches at the sticks on 3rd and 4. Like, just get the ball out. It's open. Why are you trying to run around and make a 40-yard play? You don't need it.
No, I think Caleb Williams is like one of the most interesting prospects I've seen. He's my QB3, but most of it is like due to character issue. Like if you want to have like pure talent, I think May has a higher ceiling than Williams. I think Williams has a higher ceiling than May, but I think Williams, like you see people talking about how he's the greatest quarterback prospect ever. Yeah, people saying that they don't like him. Yeah, people saying that Jaden Daniels is better. It's just a weird evaluation of him.
I don't think he's best ever when he never made the playoffs.
No, like I don't think you could see how that happens. I don't think he's a better prospect than CJ Stroud was coming out. Definitely not a better prospect than Burrow coming out. I don't think he's a better prospect. Not a better prospect than Lawrence. Like I think it's ridiculous.
Whenever I hear best prospect ever coming out of college, the one I think of is Trevor Lawrence. They were always saying he's the best since Peyton Manning. Like that's the guy I'm thinking of. Like,
I think what universally people think Andrew Luck is the best that's ever came out. I think that's like a universal opinion, other than maybe Elway. But I mean, Lawrence is a better prospect than Caleb Williams, and I think it's just like the new thing since Trevor Lawrence has come out is generational. Like the term generational has been used way too frequently now.
Every draft
is a generational player.
Each position.
I think that's recency bias. I think that's with any sport, honestly.
But
it always happens.
No, but like you've noticed like an uptick on that, like since the Trevor Lawrence draft.
And I think that, but that's just specifically from recency bias. Like people are like, oh, this guy's really good now. He's gonna be really good.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll say last year you could say that about Anthony Richardson because there's not players that come along like that big, that size.
But like a generational athlete. I wouldn't say a generational talent. Like
but going generational talent, but if you're going generational athlete, I just don't see. I don't see anybody that's really come out that you could really since Trevor that you could go, yeah, that's a generational athlete.
No, that's a generator. I meant Anthony Richardson was a generational like athlete, like as far as like what he can do with his physical ability.
Yeah, talent wise.
Yeah, but like generational player, like you know what I mean. Like that's what I'm like I don't think Caleb Williams is a generational player. I think Trevor Lawrence was like based on his college. Like I know he hasn't been what you expect him to be in the pros, but when he came out, he was a generational player. There's no question about that.
Yeah, 100%.
No question. Like Andrew Luck for sure, Peyton Manning for sure, but now it's like Kyle Pitts, generational talent coming out of tight end. It's like what? No. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. Like you're gonna tell me in one draft you have two generational talents?
Yeah, it doesn't really happen.
No, it does not happen. Remember when people were trying to say Evan Neal at the top of the draft was like, oh, he's the only for sure generational player? Like, how has that worked out?
Yeah, it worked out poorly.
He's really, really good.
Like what? Like I know he fell farther than what, but he was originally mocked at number 1 to the Jaguars. Like that was
he was supposed to pick for a while there.
Like he was like slotted in that slot. Like that's what I'm saying with the draft. Like I think the generational, like I don't know how a player can be generational when he never made the playoffs. He had a down year at USC, and his like one Heisman year, like he choked against Utah. Like he choked.
And he's also playing the Pac-12.
He's playing the Pac-12 defense, yeah.
Not that it's not Pac-12 anymore, but Pac-12 is known for not having defense.
So,
head coach is one of the best coaches in college football.
Did you see what the quarterback that when Caleb Williams didn't play? What happened when that other quarterback came?
Oh, crazy! He had an amazing game.
6 touchdowns. Well, I think he threw a couple picks.
Look at the system. What quarterback recently hasn't worked in that system?
None. I mean, Hurts, Mayfield, Murray. I mean, to be fair, all of them are going to the pros except for Spencer Rattler, who was in the draft this year, which he's going to be a draft pick probably. He's going to get drafted. I mean, he didn't.
Remember when he was supposed to be like a really good talent?
A number 1 pick, another guy.
I remember that.
Dude, I remember like it was 2021 was like when he came out. Like it was supposed to be the year where like
he was blowing up on social media.
He was getting up. That 2020 was when he blew up. 2021 was supposed to be like when he took the next step. He was like the Heisman front runner. I read a mock draft. It was after Zach Wilson's like first game with the Jets. Zach Wilson didn't. It was like his second game where he played like shit against the Patriots. And they're like, Well, the Jets should just drop him and draft Spencer Rattler the next year. I'm like, what? now you see, so the 2022 was when he was supposed to be the guy. Like in 2024, and he's like slotted to be a fifth, a sixth round pick. Just shows you the draft, man. It's just a crapshoot.
I heard some people like him a lot, and they like how he's better this time as a Gamecock.
His character's gotten better.
I mean, who knows?
Have you ever seen that show?
I think everyone's character gets better if you're a Gamecock.
Dude,
South Carolina, baby. Let's go Gamecocks.
That's gotta be the best team name in the history of
it's up there.
I think the Oregon State Beavers are the best one.
The Beavers, I was thinking that too.
Beavers is a close second. I would take the Gamecocks over it.
Of course you would.
What about the Cougars?
I think that's telling.
Oh, the Cougars might be. And you know what's so fitting is that Zach Wilson
played for the just too lame.
Cougars.
Zach Wilson played for the Cougars. Could have that not been a better match?
It was a match made in heaven until he went to the Jets. That was not.
Well, that was not a match made in heaven. Zach Wilson does not scream New York Jets quarterback.
That's ruined.
Terrapins. I think that was pretty good. Not bad.
So back to the draft talk. I think the NFL draft is weird because I think everyone knows what the first and the fourth pick is, but no one knows what the second and third pick is.
Yeah, I think it's Washington's gonna. I think Washington's really gonna decide how this draft goes because whoever
Washington goes May, then Patriots are gonna go Daniels. But I think if Washington goes Daniels, I think the Patriots are gonna get a little panicky and not take May.
They might not take May.
Or they trade back and I imagine they trade back and get JJ. How do you feel about that?
It depends. I mean,
because you know what the third pick could do? It could be like a team like, let's put this into perspective. What Chicago moves up to 3 and gets Marvin after taking Caleb because they take what they get for Justin Fields to get a second round pick. And some team, right? I was just thinking this earlier. The Patriots get panicky. Their guy's not there. Jaden Daniels is not there. Let's say because that's the hot name right now for the Patriots.
The Patriots, I could say that they'd be panicky at that point when most likely there's a 50-50 chance that the Commanders are going to take your guy.
Yeah.
I think you have a plan in place.
Just imagine everyone's saying Chicago should take Marvin at 1, but they do exactly what the Texans did last year, and they get their quarterback and the guy that everyone wanted in the draft anyway. So what you do, dude, I'm telling you, Chicago might trade up to 3. They might.
But here's the thing, though, Chicago. Here's the way what's the difference between Rome Odunze and Marvin?
Dude, well, Odunze might not be there. Malik Neighbors might not be there. Dude, these receivers are really highly touted. And if you want to, Arizona's going to take a receiver. There's a chance the Chargers take a receiver. The Giants might take a receiver. You know what I mean?
What would happen if the Bears trade up to 3 and then took a Dunze instead of Marvin?
That's not happening, dude.
You never know.
They wouldn't trade up to 3, though. Dude, I'm telling you. There's a possibility that Chicago trades up to 3. Honestly, I think it's more likely than not. I think that's one of the most likely scenarios.
I think teams don't understand. I think when people make these mock drafts, they have these teams trading way up to get up to 3. I'm like, I don't think you guys understand how much it's going to take to move up that far.
Sorry, I got kicked out.
No, it's all good.
But
didn't what's his name? The Texans moved up from what? They moved up from what? 11 to 2 last year?
No, they moved up from 9 or something. They were
9 to 2, because 9 to 3. So it's got to be a similar package to what the Texans gave.
But here's the thing: if teams moving up for Drake May or Marvin Harrison, you don't think that's more valuable than moving up for Will Anderson?
I know what you mean, but there's from what I heard was the Vikings wanted Anthony Richardson, and they offered a lot, and the Colts said no. So they probably would have offered that same package to the. I'm just saying, dude, if a team wants to stay in the top 10, which I know the Patriots would,
good, because I think if they don't, I think their top 2 quarterbacks, if the rumors are true, I think are Daniels and McCarthy. So I think if Daniels goes at 2, I think they're gonna have their attention on whether they just stick there and take McCarthy or if they trade back. You're going to get another first-round pick if you trade back.
Dude, I'm telling you, Chicago's trading up 3. That's my prediction. They're trading up 3. If the Patriots don't get their guy and the Patriots are trading, the team that if the Patriots trade the pick, the pick is to Chicago.
I can see because you're gonna
use that as a luxury, dude. And the fan base. Could you imagine the fan base of Chicago after shitting on them for getting rid of Justin Fields? Take Marvin one, and they get Williams and they get the guy they wanted anyway.
That would be crazy. And
Could
then
you imagine?
And DJ Moore, Caleb Williams. They might. I mean, I've heard Saquon's going to sign with the Eagles. I think that's the team he's linked to right now. I mean, no, but they could sign Josh Jacobs. They could sign some linemen, some D line.
I would.
Derrick Henry's an option too. He's not returning to the Titans.
That's a good point. Derrick Henry to Chicago, dude. You know what? Chicago is the most interesting team in this free agency, and it's not even debatable because they control the cards of where Justin Fields go. They have 2 top 10 picks, and they got some cap space. It's an interesting scenario.
Chicago has to fortify their front 7, and I think offensive line wise, they have to get some help. I think they're going to draft the receiver no matter what their second first round pick.
Oh, I do too. I just think like maybe they move up to get that guy. Like they get up the guy that they want number 1. Like I think that's. Like, they have so many draft picks, dude. When you have that many draft picks, you can't draft that many players because not all of them make the roster.
Question with Chicago. How many second-round picks do they have this year? Just 1?
They have 2.
They have 2. Would it be crazy? Would it be crazy if after 2 picks, wide receivers?
They take another wide. I think they package those seconds to move up, dude. I think that's what they're gonna do because you don't take that many players. If you know there's one player for certain that's gonna be a player, you go get them because like second round picks, like what's the hit percentage on second round picks? What, like 30%, 40%?
I think also you could say you're gonna package when they're 9, right? So they're 9 and your 2 seconds to move up to say like 3. Mm-hmm. But would the Patriots want those 2 seconds or would they rather just have another first?
It's tricky. I don't know if they have 2. I'm gonna check right now.
Yeah,
I thought that they have. No, they don't. They don't have a second round pick. They have a third, a fourth. They only have 1, 2, 3, 4. They only have 5 draft picks. So maybe they don't move up.
So I don't think they're moving up. Then I think they're staying put.
They'd probably stay put at 9. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they get for Fields. Maybe they get like a second and a 5th for him. I think they get similar to what the Sam Darnold package is.
Yeah, but if you get a second for Fields, where's that second round pick gonna be?
What you could do is you get that second round pick from Fields, right? Like, which is like, well, let's look at the options for Fields. Like, it's probably Pittsburgh, Atlanta,
probably about the same options for Russell Wilson.
Vikings maybe, but I don't think they trade him in division.
He's not going. They won't trade in division, especially when you think the guy could just start to trade him in division.
Patriots, maybe not.
I would say Patriots, Falcons, Pittsburgh.
Oh my God! Think about this: 2 first in Justin Fields for the 3rd pick, and they do it before the draft even happens.
2 first and Justin Fields to move up to 3.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot, doesn't it?
You saw what the Texans were willing to give up for Will Anderson. If you think you can get the guy at 3, it's the same 9-3. Same thing that happened last time.
But the thing
would you do that as a Patriots fan? Would you take Justin Fields
and 2 first-round picks for 9? Would you do it?
I would do it if Drake Mayer or Jaden Daniels are there, which one of them will be there. I will.
So you're not taking that. You're declining it. Like if you're a Patriots fan, you know like Jaden Daniels and Drake Mayer, you're 2 guys. You want one of them.
Well, here's the thing with Justin Fields. I like Justin Fields, but he's learning a whole new offense. His contract's gonna be up.
Okay, I mean that's a valid concern.
So, you're probably not gonna get the best you're gonna get out of the year. New offense, whole new offense. I'll learn. It's a whole new coaching staff to begin with. It's probably not going to be a pretty first year. So you're gonna have a new quarterback who now you got to 1 year. Do I pay right now? And I could have taken a rookie quarterback.
Gotta pick up his 5th year option though. Like if you do it like soon, like you can do the trade now, like the Jets did with Sam Darnold with the Panthers. The Panthers picked up his 5th year option.
Still, they use 2 years to figure out aging quarterback that's not really proven.
That's true.
Take the rookie quarterback.
You let him fly. Okay. So I think if you take Drake May, you got to sit him though. I think he's not ready to play. I think
either.
I think you take him with you set him behind Brissett and you let him
Brissett or Flacco, someone like that. Yeah.
Flacco, Brissett. I mean,
I think whoever the Patriots draft, they should sit. I mean, I think we've talked about that last.
Yeah, for sure. Other than maybe Daniels, I think Daniels can.
There's definitely been a trend of draft a guy, throw him out there, and it seems to be more successful when they sit.
Well, I mean, the recent examples of it working are Stroud, Burrow, Herbert, but even Herbert sat like the first 2 weeks.
Game and a half.
No, it was not a game and a half. It was like
1 game.
To Tyrod Taylor, right?
It was one game, and then he came out there. He like lit it up, and they're like, "Okay, he's the quarterback now."
There's actually that's funny.
Chiefs, yeah, he outplayed Mahomes so bad that game. They should have won that game.
They choked in half.
So like, you could argue Herbert was like a rookie quarterback that started, right?
Yeah.
But like, look at Bryce Young, dude. Oh my god, he's terrible.
Bryce Young was in a bad situation too. They are.
So like.
Not my favorite prospect of the draft either. I'll be honest.
I don't like him. I don't like the height. I just can't. I mean, at least
he's like skinny, dude.
He's like he's an inch taller than me would do. An inch. He's like no quarterback. He can't be more than 20 pounds heavier than me either. He can't be.
He's as big as me. No,
for sure. He's like your size.
That ain't gonna cut it.
So I think there was major concerns with Bryce Young. I mean, even though Brady Quinn, and I quote, called him a generational prospect, but I mean,
yeah. How about Trevor Lawrence, guy you are right to rip?
I mean, there's a generational prospect. I mean, even like Stroud was a great prospect. I thought he was the best quarterback last year. I thought he was the best player in the year. But I never thought of him as like, oh my god, he's gonna be that coming out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, he definitely caught everybody off guard. I thought. After that Georgia game, I was like, all right, he does seem legit. I just didn't think he was that legit at all.
I was predicting Richardson to be offensive rookie of the year, to be honest.
Oh, you know what? He might have actually. Yeah, he based on like what we saw from him, like he would have been number 2. Like from what I
was talking about like when he got drafted. I was.
Oh no, me too. I thought
he was great.
He was my QB too. I thought he was.
Potential. Oh my God.
I thought if you put him in the right system and you let him just run a little bit and you let him like develop as a passer, I thought it was smart. But I remember when they took him, they said that we're not going to sit him because he does not have that many reps, and their logic was he needs to get reps.
Which makes I could hear the argument, but I don't think there's a guy obviously coming out this year that I think.
Yeah, I don't think a guy like needs reps. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think Drake May's played 2 years of college football. Caleb Williams has played a shit ton. Caleb Williams is whoever he gets drafted to, he should be the starter for sure.
JJ McCarthy's had probably the least amount of real reps.
Oh yeah, JJ McCarthy should sit, but I think he's got a lot of potential for sure.
But he just didn't pass the ball.
He might be the perfect fit for the Patriots, if we're being honest. If they're like dead set on signing a veteran and starting a guy right away, and someone's sitting, like I think for sure JJ McCarthy should be the pick.
I could definitely see it. I like JJ. I like him as a leader too. I
mean, you got to see what happens in free agency. So, like moving to free agency, this is where we're gonna close on. Is like free agency's like I know it starts technically next Thursday, but the legal tampering period is when the free agency starts.
Yeah,
it's Tuesday. There's some big names. Like we've already seen some like shaping. We saw the Matabuke contract, which is absurd. Like that's a lot of money for a guy.
Well earned.
Played like really one season of elite football. You've seen like Jonnu Smith going to the Dolphins, you know, a little bit interesting there. But like, I mean, there's a lot of big names out there. I mean, there really is. Not at like premier position. Like I would say like
safety.
The running back market is like ridiculous.
I mean, the running back and safety, you have Xavier McKinney, you got Quandre Diggs, you got Justin Simmons. Kyle in the transition tag, but he's obviously other teams could match that offer.
Blitz boy.
But I mean, Jamal Adams for the 2 games he's going to play while healthy, and then when he tries to fight your trainer, he's just there's that. But I mean, geez, the secondary market. I mean, Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer.
Oh, both. Yeah, both of them.
Tre'Davious White, the 1.5 games he's going to play.
Oh, he'll be a big star. I mean, I could see I could see the Patriots going after Tre'Davious White.
I don't think they will. I don't think that's a need for them.
Pair him with Gonzo, man.
No, they're gonna pick Jonathan Jones. They'll probably draft another guy that's just with the Patriots.
Yeah, and then what about
Corners.
who else? Who else is there? Like Poyer. I mean, that Poyer might be a Jet. That sounds. The Jets need a safety.
Mitch Morse is going to be. That's a good center there. I'm trying to think what team.
Jamal Adams is going back to the Jets, baby.
No, he's
It's a
not.
reunion.
No, he is not. They already said that's done.
It's a reunion.
100%.
Done deal.
There's a 0% chance that happens. Did you see what he did to the Jets beat reporter? Like, and the Jets are close to Connor Hughes, and he's like one of the SNY beat reporters. Jamal Adams was like talking about like yikes. It was like he made it like Connor Hughes did like a yikes tweet about like what the Jets got for compensation for Jamal Adams and what Jamal Adams has done on the field. So Jamal Adams responded with like screenshotting a picture of Connor Hughes' wife and tweeted out yikes. I don't think he's coming back to New York, dude. I don't think the Jets want him.
Anyway, back to Mitch Morse. Do you think he could go and replace Kelsey? Do you think Mitch Morse is by weeks?
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Are you all right there, bud?
We'll put it back on it a little bit, but no, we're gonna go back to Mitch Morse. Mitch Morse, I could definitely see him go back to the Eagles for sure.
I think it could be. I think. I mean, we're trying to think of teams that need a center. We think center-wise.
Yeah, no. I think he's for sure going back to the Eagles, dude. Or I think he's going to the Eagles because like they need a replacement for Jason Kelsey. For sure. I mean, that was like one of their staples. Like,
yeah, I think they're.
I think it's going to be a need for them because I mean that was like Jason Kelsey is Philly. Like that's like he's the premier Eagle. Like he was the heart and soul of the Philadelphia Eagles for so long. They need that staple back, you know.
Well, he helped draft a guy that he thinks is very similar to himself and helped. Like I assume they still have that guy, but he was helping his replacement. He helped draft and help train his replacement in Philly.
Okay, so I mean that could be something to watch out for. I mean, I think Mitch Morse is
obviously if they don't go for a veteran, I think that's their plan at least. As of 2 years ago, I think it's last I heard of it.
That's definitely a smart plan. I think another option for the Eagles could be they draft a guy. They could draft another guy.
You could.
I think they need to add a few pieces on their offense, but
you draft the guy from Oregon. Is Powers Johnson his name?
I think so. I think that's the guy you're thinking.
He's good.
But I mean, center is the safest position to draft in the NFL.
It is. Slam dunk. You look at Linderbaum. No, am I there? No.
Yeah, Linderbaum, dude.
Linderbaum. You think of Creed
Humphrey.
Creed Humphrey. You can't go wrong with centers.
Dude, centers is like an easy position to draft, dude. It's genuinely one of the. That's why the percentage of Hall of Famers is so low because it's such an easily drafted position. It's the least important. I know it's the most important position on the offensive line, but it requires the least amount. Like your least talented offensive lineman is usually your center.
Yeah, your most important linemen are usually your tackles. especially left tackle.
Tackles and centers are important, but I would say guards are more. It requires more talent to play guard than center. Because center, you're never one-on-one. You're always getting help. You're always either giving help or getting help.
But you do a lot as a center.
You do a lot with the protection, which is why I meant like it's an important position, but I wouldn't say it requires the most talent to play.
You're the quarterback of the offensive line. You're the leader.
Like Leduc, you know what I mean? Like when you play defensive tackle, like how many one-on-ones did you get with the center?
A lot.
You got one-on-one, like just straight one-on-ones?
When I would have played nose guard.
Okay, yeah. Nose guard. That was with like a 5-man rush, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not in the NFL usually. You don't really get a 5-man rush.
Yeah, but usually if you're have a 4-man front, it's not going to happen. But
no, it's not going to happen
unless you blitz a backer in the A, and then the backers one-on-one with them.
I mean, other options like Derrick Henry. Where does he go?
I heard the Texans would be an interesting team.
I think he's going to the Texans.
I think that'd be hilarious since I love everything that would happen with that. Just the fact that he's dominated the Texans for so many years, and then he'd go and play for him.
I heard Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can afford to pay him though.
Some like funny names. Here we go. We'll go down the list. Chris Jones. Where does he go? Does he stay in
Chiefs?
He's Chiefs.
Kirk Cousins.
Minnesota.
I just don't see anywhere else. I just
Minnesota or Falcons, but I think Falcons are going for Fields.
I think the Raiders.
You think he goes to the Raiders?
They could use a goddamn quarterback.
They could.
I think Kirk Cousins is the most like.
I feel like they're sticking with McConnell. I don't know what their plans are, but it seems like he's their guy.
Well, they're saying that the Vikings are for sure drafting a quarterback this year. But I think Kirk Cousins is an intriguing option.
I think he's
like not talked about enough. Like I
don't think he's talked about enough because honestly, in my opinion, he's going back to Minnesota.
I think the Vikings should back deal, and I think they should draft Bo Nix for second round.
Okay, so they could do that. I think they're gonna. I heard they want McCarthy. So if they're gonna want McCarthy, I think they're gonna let me.
You're gonna have to pay.
Maybe they give Cousins a 1-year deal, but I heard he's like already moving his family down to Georgia. So like, could you imagine he's going on the Falcons? Like that just doesn't seem right. Kirk Cousins on the Falcons does not seem like a fit to me. Like that just doesn't.
It seems like they need to go somewhere young. Honestly, it seems like Justin Fields is the perfect fit for the Falcons.
Oh, I know it seems like it, but
if Arthur Smith was still good.
Well, now you go through like another defense. Christian Wilkins, does he go back to
Chicago?
You think he's going to Chicago?
I think he's going to be a Chicago Bear.
Danielle Hunter is an intriguing option.
I think Bear or Ram for Wilkins.
Yeah, Wilkins. I could see Patriots too. They have a lot of cap space, dude.
The Patriots have the most cap space.
He's that guy in the Dolphins, right?
Yeah, he's not going back to the Dolphins.
You don't think so?
No. He could be a Patriot. You put him with Keon White and Christian Barmore, and you could have a good front three.
Danielle Hunter, I'm not as high on him as most people are, but he's a little older. I think
I think
you give him like a 2-year deal. I don't think you give him anything.
You know what? He might sign him. I'm gonna say the Lions could sign him.
No, I don't see it because they have Houston.
Yeah, but Houston's banged up.
Yeah, 1 year. Like you could be banged up 1 year doesn't mean you automatically suck.
What's wrong with adding a third guy to your edge rushers?
I mean, do they have a lot of? How much cap space do they have? Like 80 million. They got a lot.
They got a lot. That's my point.
Then we got Tyron Smith. I mean, tackle. You'll go to one of the tackle needy teams.
I mean,
he's not really a sexy guy. I don't really want to talk about Tyron Smith leaving Dallas. I mean,
Chiefs
is like a safe bet. Saquon Barkley.
He's very interesting.
I still think he's going to the Chargers, man. It makes too much sense.
I'm just gonna root for him to go back to New York because I think he deserves to, but I don't think he is.
No, that bridge is never gonna be crossed again. I just don't see Eagles because how many fucking running backs do they have?
Here's the thing. If you're the Eagles, running back.
You try and get him, right? If you're the Eagles, you try and get him.
Right, you making like an intriguing you make like a what's the word? You make a forward attempt. Like you make it like an aggressive pursuit for him. But I wouldn't say you like
Running
put
back,
all the chips in. Like you do your research on him, but I wouldn't.
running back to such a. I mean, the Bengals. I'm hearing the Bengals are going to release Joe Mixon. I mean,
What? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I heard that too.
I mean,
That could be an interesting pickup.
backs are for the most part dime a dozen.
Dime a
Not
dozen.
that you would.
I think Mixon's better than Barkley.
No,
No, I'm
not,
sorry. I don't think he
not-
is.
No, I think Barkley's a great player, but I think like
Barkley-
based on like injuries and shit, like Barkley's had his fair share of injuries.
Joe Mixon's had his fair share of injuries too. This year he was healthy, but last year he was not.
He's been banged up, dude. They've both been banged up. But Barkley, I take Barkley in not even half a heart.
Okay, yeah, that was probably like a stupid thing to say.
Barkley's like probably one of top 3, top 5 running back for me in the league right now.
Okay, I mean that's valid. I think I agree. I tend to agree with that statement. I think Mixon's will garner free agency like input. Like, could you imagine him going to the Cowboys though?
I think Mixon makes more sense going somewhere like
Dude,
The
Mixon to the
Texans.
Cowboys would make sense because I think it would be Henry to the Texans, Mixon to the Cowboys. If Mixon gets released, he's going back home to the Cowboys.
Did it Mixon? And he was Oklahoma, right?
Oklahoma's pretty close to Dallas, dude.
Yep.
It's pretty close. It's not like it's like what 6, 7, 8 hours away, somewhere around there.
The next state up.
that's
Next state up, and Dallas is on the top of the state.
Yes, it is.
Just saying.
Very, very possible.
Jonathan Greenard, how is he the 7th best free agency? Jonathan Greenard, was he good last year? He's an okay edge, right? I mean, he's not better than Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley, that's an intriguing option. I think he stays with Jacksonville, but
I don't think keeping him. I think he's gonna Patriots are gonna go.
I think if I had to put money on it, I'd probably put money on him betting for what team he's going to go on.
oh,
And then, and then go to that team. If I was a betting man, I would say.
That would fucking be. Could you imagine someone does that? He puts like a unit.
If anyone does it, it's going to be him.
No, you know what he would do? He would leak out his people. He goes, you know what? It's plus 800 for me to go to the Cowboys right now. Guess what? I'll slip you about $1 million. You can keep 10% of it.
He and Keyshawn would get along so well on the Patriots. He and Keyshawn Booty would get along so well on the Patriots.
Keyshawn Boutte.
Oh, Jake's number what? 3 receiver last year? Number 2?
I think he was 2 or 3. That was bad. I mean, no, he was.
Well, LSU prospects that Jake is highly touted on that not notoriously translated well. Yeah.
You mean this the one?
Yeah. Recency bias.
Yeah.
Michael Wenu.
I think he's going to keep it. If the Patriots would have tagged,
You think he's staying with the Patriots?
he's going to stay.
I want to say he's going to the Nets, but more and more I've been like reading on free news, like it doesn't seem right. I think he probably either stays a Patriot or he would go to Chicago
Possibly.
or Detroit. No, Detroit.
No.
I'm trying to think of like teams that have a lot of cap space that would be willing to pay a guard premium capital.
Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers would make sense. Big Cat, Leonard Williams. Seahawks probably staying Seahawks.
No, I'm just going somewhere else.
He'll probably just go to a contender.
Panther.
Pick a contender.
He's just signed with some random team for some money.
Yeah, Leonard Williams. I don't give a shit about him. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, move on. See what else we got.
CJ Johnson, Gardner Johnson.
Oh, he's
Probably stay with the Lions, right?
maybe
I don't know. I heard possibly not.
another safety that's out there. I mean, that's That's so tough. It's so tough.
I just think they can afford to pay him. Like
I think the Lions might make sense, but like
I feel like he might want to come back just because like they had
Maybe
a
Texans.
great run.
Texans, I don't know. CJ Deuces.
They got Petrie. I mean, Titans.
It's just like Titans.
I don't think the Titans are gonna sign someone like that, considering they just got rid of everyone.
Bills replacement for Boyer.
Replacement for half their defense and half.
The replacement for getting rid of their three core pieces of their secondary is CD Deuce, baby. He's coming home to the Buffalo Bills.
Cap space. Cap space.
I know.
I don't know if they can even afford CD. I mean, they might have to go find the random hole in the street.
If Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, based on what the Bills have done, there's a good chance the Jets could do something. I'm not going to say win the division, but
Hey, I mean, you did say they were going to be a Super Bowl team this year, even after Aaron Rodgers went down. So,
I'd do $1 on it.
even after Aaron Rodgers went down, though?
Yeah. I lost it.
Dang. Well, you also lost the Browns dollars, so it is what it is.
Jake's betting advice is ideal, 100%. And then we got another intriguing free agent, Mr. Bryce Huff, coming off a 10-sack season.
Bears overpaying.
I think he's a Bear. I think it's a lock-in Chicago Bear, or you know what, Detroit Lion. He could be a Lion, dude.
I could see the Chargers. Again, they cut Khalil Mack.
I mean, I could see
Maybe
the Cleveland Browns come in and they go, we need that Myles Garrett compliment.
We need the Clowney to your.
We need someone that can actually win a legit Defensive Player of the Year.
Bryce Huff. I think Chicago. I've said that for a while. I think he's gonna be that overpaid. They're gonna put him next to Montez Sweat, and it's gonna be like tryouts with our speed rushers. Kendall Fuller. I mean, who gives a shit about Kendall Fuller?
Old age. He's more of a zone guy.
He's 29-year-old corner. Like, when has paying a 29-year-old corner ever done anything?
I could see him going to the Eagles to replace Jim Bradbury.
Xavier McKinney.
That's another good one. Patriots.
Lions. They don't re-sign CD Deuce.
I mean, you also get Justin Simmons in there too.
So Broncos, maybe. There's gonna be a team that doesn't have cap space that fixated that like will like restructure. That's why free agency is so hard to like interpret, because like most of these contracts you don't know the full details of.
Yeah.
You assume that all the money's guaranteed when it's all backloaded. There's a bunch of like legal shit that goes on to it. It's kind of ridiculous.
It's pretty crazy.
And then you got Hollywood Brown.
He's going back.
I think he's gonna get overpaid. He's gonna get like a Christian Kirk contract, dude. He's gonna get at least 14-15 mil.
14-15 mil from the Cardinals.
14-15 mil. I know from a team. He's gonna get like. You know what? I'm gonna make this prediction. His contract is gonna be closer to $20 million per year as opposed to $10 million a year. He's gonna get over 15.
Yeah. Look at some
Dude,
money.
people overpay for receivers. Overpay.
He could be a Brown.
I would say it wouldn't be bad, but I don't think we have a lot of cap space for it. So
Well, you can backwood. You can give him like, let's say this. How about this? You give him like a signing bonus, right? Because signing bonus sometimes doesn't count towards the cap space because you can count that as out of the owner's pocket, right? So you give him like a signing bonus of what like $7 million. And you give him the contract details is like 3 years, 56 mil, or 3 years, 50 mil. 3 years, 50 mil. And you give him I don't know, $25 million guaranteed, $30 million guaranteed. And you pair him up with you get Deshaun Watson, that deep threat where you can push the ball down the field and have Mark Cooper take in. And,
it sounds like a great, load of all our assets, guaranteed, more guaranteed money. Sounds like a great idea for the Browns right now.
Pittsburgh Pittsburgh, I've heard, could be traded.
I mean, I like Marquise Brown, but like he gets he gets injured too much for me to want to pay him, especially guaranteed.
I mean, only so.
I have an this is an intriguing free agent, Patrick Queen. Patriot.
I can't remember what team was linked to him. Maybe Seahawks.
It was Seattle. I did see that. That's probably a for sure. That'll probably happen. Seattle makes a lot of sense. I could see like 49ers too.
No, because they got Greenlaw and Warner. They're not going to sign another back.
They always do something stupid. You don't expect though. Like they expect them to give that's good money to Hargrave though. Like you know what I mean? Like they were loaded at defensive tackle, dude. Like that's just what the 49ers do. They it's just weird.
They had an underperforming defensive tackle. That's why they signed Hargrave.
That's true. Yeah.
You're gonna tell me Greenlaw or Warner of all people?
No. It's the
probably the two best duo in the league.
Lloyd Cushenberry, center.
That's another one.
So here's a funny thing.
Up in the air.
It's tough to predict center. Here's a funny thing. I know we talked about this last time, but I want Leduc's opinion. They have NFL Network thinks Jacoby Brissett is a better free agent than Baker Mayfield right now.
Look, I think Jacoby Brissett's a great player. I liked him on the Browns. I liked him as our starting quarterback. But no, I don't know if they just have him ranked above that because they think like Baker Mayfield's gonna sign with like the Buccaneers.
No. They said, I know that Brissett easily outplayed the quarterback before. I know that Brissett easily outplayed the quarterback before him in Cleveland, Baker Mayfield, and the quarterback after him, Deshaun, and then dramatically supercharged the Commanders' offense the minute he hit the field last year in place of Sam Howell.
All right, I'm inclined to believe him, I guess. Whatever. Sway me, just like that.
That's what he said.
Yeah, Baker didn't do shit.
I believe Brissett would be a league average starting quarterback if given the chance.
I agree.
That's what. But
I think Baker's above average.
And then you want to read Baker Mayfield's thing?
Yeah.
Because I think Baker Mayfield's going back to Tampa.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think Jacoby Brissett's coming back to New England.
I agree.
But Baker proved in 2023 that he can keep an offense afloat. He makes decisions more quickly now than when he was younger and doesn't lack for conviction when making throws with his excellent arm. I'd be wary of buying too high. However, depending on his price tag. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of idiots out there. I mean, people saying Jacoby Brissett's better than Baker Mayfield is kind of asinine, but
yeah.
And then we got Derrick Henry. I mean, I think Texans.
How is he that low?
Derrick Henry, because he's an old running back, dude.
Come on, but it's Derrick Henry.
So
I think Texans, Cowboys. He's gonna go back home to Texas. One of the two teams. Big game, Gabe Davis, baby. Somebody's got to overpay for him.
We talked about it earlier, so he's definitely going to the Jets.
Oh my god.
He could be a Cardinal too.
Please be a Cardinal. I mean, I was talking to my dad about this. Like Gabe Davis screams New York Jet, 4 years, $48 million. Screams it. Screams it. He screams a double-digit per season $1 million contract from the New York Jets. They love giving these number 2 receivers that underperform, which means they should probably be a 3 or 4 top tier number 2 in money. That's what the Jets love to do. Just look at Allen Lazard.
I love it.
True.
I think it's a great fit. Like I said, I love it.
And another underperforming wide receiver with a great quarterback. I wouldn't say Josh Allen's Hall of Fame, but
he'd do good, but you don't need him.
Chase Young, 49ers. I don't know.
Probably
I'm like going there's Josh Jacobs. That's
Bear.
it's a bear, yeah.
Now I know this has nothing to do with football, but another important news:
What?
Fortnite downtime is over.
Oh, okay. So we might have to wrap up this podcast. We're gonna go over.
I just want to let you know I'm officially in the game.
Okay, so this is our football talk podcast. We'll see if our free agency predictions come
Well,
through. We'll
Let
see
me
next
say
week.
before you wrap it up, thank you for letting me be on the show. I appreciate it, and
Let's go. We hopefully can get a regular. Our
Yeah, bro.
Cleveland Browns built-in analyst.
yes, sir, yes, sir.
No, we're looking forward to having you on with fellow guest hosts.
And next time I'll set up my laptop and stuff, so I'm not like all shaky.
Nah, it's
but-
all good.
Like seriously, man, you gotta get it right.
I know. I think this worked out pretty okay, though.
It worked out
appreciate
good.
you letting me be on here.
I think we did a good job. We wrapped up a lot of topics, about hour 16, same time we did last time. And we'll see you next week. We'll see what happens with this vaunted free agency that's coming out.
All right.
Peace out.
See you guys.